Howdy y'all. What we have laid out on the tables before us is what I'm calling the ultimate towing and endurance 6.4 liter Powerstroke build. To start with, we have a set of BD manifolds and non-EGR up pipes, which they do not make anymore. That is okay because this truck lives in a non-emissions area, and also we have a way now that I will cover shortly to help it meet emissions despite not having emissions equipment. We have a T4 single turbo conversion. This is an older kit, was originally done by H&S. As you can see, it's still in good shape, nothing wrong with that, and we're going to be using that to mount a single S369. This S369 has a DPS turbinator VGT housing on it to help it spool up quickly. We have an O-Dog intake manifold. We have CP Carrillo H-beam rods, which were required to run the pistons being used in this setup. We are using 20% overstock industrial injection injectors, a fluid damper, harmonic damper. We have Addicteddiesel aluminum icon cylinder heads, as well as a camshaft. In fact, almost the entirety of this engine build, the block, heads, most of the parts came from Addicteddiesel. They are all fully machined, ready to assemble and balanced. So big shout out to them. They supplied most of this. Most of this engine would not be possible without what they have put into it. We are also using Total Seal. These are the stock rings, piston rings. The top ring is a factory keystone. The second ring is a square ring, and those were sent to Total Seal, and you can see that groove cut into them, and that was because they were modified for a gapless rail. So the second ring on these pistons will not effectively have a ring gap. This will help increase volumetric efficiency, keep combustion in the cylinder, and reduce blow-by as much as possible. Additionally, you can see that these have been marked with the WPC metal surface treatment stickers. That is because these rings, all of the valves, valve springs, retainers, clips, rockers, the wrist pins, main and rod bearings, and camshaft have all been sent to WPC and treated. So that is a surface treatment process. It's effectively a ceramic micro shot peening process. It does not change the dimensions of the part, but it significantly decreases the friction coefficients. It also increases oil retention within the part, so they significantly reduce the possibility of being run dry, and they increase the surface strength of the part as well. Part of one of the main things with that and treating the springs is that they've seen a significant reduction in temperature from the valve springs themselves by being WPC treated, and as well the reduced friction within the engine. Piston rings contribute 40% of all friction within an engine, and that will help reduce that friction and help this engine run cool and live a long life. But I believe the crown jewel of this build is the speed of air pistons. Now these are a 6.7 Powerstroke steel piston that comes in the 2020 and newer 6.7s. As you can see, skeletonized, helps the wrist pin and piston combination. Because they're able to use so much smaller of a wrist pin with the steel piston compared to aluminum ones, it actually makes it a lighter combination than the aluminum piston and wrist pin. But that is not the biggest feature. Now, of course, the steel is going to be the best way to combat the piston braking issues that 6.4s have. The truck that this engine will be going into has actually killed 2 engines by breaking the pistons like that, and it only has 117,000 miles. But these pistons were modified by speed of air. As you can see, you have these dimples in them. This results in a absolutely massive increase in combustion efficiency, and the results are more power, better fuel mileage, and less emissions. To the point that these can, in an application like this, there may not be hardly any soot at all coming out of this engine. It is absolutely huge how much these pistons decrease emissions and the amount of performance that they can add. So I believe these are kind of the crown jewel to this build. They're going to help keep the oil clean, keep the engine running cool, and hopefully this whole setup with that stage 2 cam and big single, everything about this is to get air in and air out and run as efficiently and cool as possible, because the truck that it's going into is low geared. It has factory 430 gears, and it lives under an RV. So with all of this, this should make a very, very high mileage engine that gets good fuel mileage, runs clean, and will hopefully outlast the truck.